So, my name is Reva Labbe, and my concept is called Work It Girlfriend. The idea of Work It Girlfriend came from myself. I work in the sports industry. I'm currently an associate social media editor at ESPN. And while it does seem like there's a lot of resources out there for people who work in sports, none of them are just for women. And, there's a ton of women who work in sports. It's not an easy field to work in. You have a lot of people sometimes, telling you that because you're a woman, you shouldn't be working in sports or you don't know enough about sports, leave it to the men, stay in the kitchen, etc., etc. And so my point in creating Work It Girlfriend was to create a community where women could come together and they could learn more about how to make their careers more successful. And so there's a lot of things that I wish I knew when I was in college and even younger, wanting to work in the sports industry. So that's kind of what this is. It is a place for me to give advice, tips, tricks, all of the above, for women who want to work in sports. And so this is just a brief view of my website. I'll get much more into it as we go. But now I will show you the social media plan that I created. So I started this plan for our midterm, obviously, and basically my goal was to encourage women in the sports industry to be fearless, powerful, successful, all of the above. And so to do this, I knew that I needed a great website and I needed some great social media handles. And my business vision was to encourage women by publishing articles that was going to give them advice, tips, etc. And my social media vision was to really foster a community where women could come and be vulnerable and know that their concerns were being understood by other women who had been there before. So my first iteration of the brand name was Work It Girl, but it seemed like there was some other things on the internet that already had the title Work It Girl, so I changed it a little bit from my midterm to my final to make the brand name Work It Girlfriend, with the fun little friend part of that. But basically my goal was to have Work It Girlfriend be honest, encouraging, refreshing, smart. Basically, I knew that to work in sports as a woman, you have to be savvy, you have to, most women tend to have this personality where they're go-getters, they really want to work hard, and so I wanted to create a community where we could acknowledge that sometimes it's really hard to be a woman in sports, but that we wouldn't change it. And so first thing I knew I had to do was launch a website. And so I used Squarespace to launch the website that I briefly showed you before, and I'll go back to it to move around a little bit more in it in a little bit. And my other goal was to launch social media handles. At the midterm, I had pitched to Christina that I would be launching a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but then I decided that Instagram probably would be best to hold off on and see how the Facebook and Twitter handles performed first. So initially I launched a Facebook account and a Twitter account. I will show you those also in a minute. And my goal was to grow these to about 500 followers initially, and also to bring in 500 new readers a month to the website. One of my business goals is to, in the next 6 to 12 months, launch a Work It Girlfriend podcast that will live also on the Work It Girlfriend website. And so some of my business goals also talk about the podcast, which is essentially something that will be launched down the road, maybe in Practicum 2 or Practicum 3. And so basically, my audience is women who work in the sports industry, and then also, I don't want to completely make this community feel like it's not for men at all, because that would kind of be getting away from what we're seeking to foster, by saying, okay, we know that women face a hard time in sports, so I don't want men to feel like this is not a place where they could be included, but it definitely is geared towards women. And then my secondary business audience is publications who support women in the workplace, specifically when it comes to sports, but not necessarily. I think a lot of these tips are not just for women who work in sports, but for women who work in any environment. I think that all women could use encouragement in that space. And then for social, kind of how I mentioned before, my secondary audience is those other people, women who maybe don't work in sports, but also the men who support women who work in sports or support women advancement in the workplace. And so, kind of how I mentioned before, that we really wanted our content style to be raw and really like encourage this idea that it's not easy, but it's worth it. And so I have a couple examples of posts that I think fit into this content style that I will show you also a little later. So basically for our influencer approach, we have a ton of really awesome women who are in the field who are doing it really, really well when it comes to working and also giving advice and perspective. And so my influencer strategy is to initially partner with 5 leaders in the space to help promote Work at Girlfriend across their social handles. I identified some influencers here, Katie Nolan, who's Fox Sports, awesome. She's really great follow, and also she really is very, very honest on her social media handles. Also, Samantha Ponder, who for years has done College Game Day on ESPN and is now moving to an NFL role. She's also very honest and transparent on her social handles. And then we have a couple other girls on here who work in the social media and sports landscape, which is where I work. And they also do a great job of being transparent, honest, and not backing down from, any of the challenges of being a female who works in sports. And so basically the goal of the influencer strategy is to hit these key markets that, their followers are our key target demographic area, and then get them to share our content. And we can do this by, tapping into professional organizations for help, being a part of Twitter chats, Facebook groups, etc. And so, like I said, the goal for the influencer strategy is to develop the partnerships with these 5 leaders, to engage their fans on social, and then just to continue to help, to get them to help us grow our following. And I think that the value to the influencer strategy is just that we can reach a much wider audience than we would be able to on our own, and that is going to help grow the loyal and engaged following of our brand. These are going to be the people that are going to be liking, commenting, listening, etc. So moving back a little bit to business goals, I just wanted to say that for the beginning, our key performance indicators for our business goals is just making sure that we get 500 unique visitors to the website each month and the 500 followers on Twitter and Facebook. And then also getting the reach and impressions of our social media content to over 1,000 people each month. So this is just a baseline goal, and then once we hit these goals, we're going to start creating new goals, which will be really, really awesome. And as of right now, we don't have any paid advertising goals, but I'm sure we will get there in the future. Just for right now, we're just working to place Work at Girlfriend content on key internet sites to get people the awareness up and to get people to follow. And the KPIs of that will just be increased social and website growth. So we've had a lot of cool success in the beginning. And so this was our goals moving from the midterm to the final. And so now that we've circled back on that, I made a couple goals for moving forward. And so moving forward, I will continue to publish 2 to 3 pieces of content each week. And what that looks like is either, an article or getting guest posts or highlighting other awesome women who work in sports. I made a special section called Women Crush Wednesday, where we'll highlight really awesome women who are working in the field. And also another goal is to continue to publish content on our 2 social media handles 2 to 3 times per week. Also, I put in here that I want to start publishing more articles that were from third-party websites but still are applicable to our target demographic. We've done a little bit of that, and I think it could be really, really successful. And then now that we kind of have our baseline for Work at Girlfriend and we're up and running, I'm going to start taking the first steps to executing phase 1 of our influencer strategy, which is starting to reach out to these key influencers and seeing how we can work together. And then the 6-month plan is to continue to get Work at Girlfriend podcast up and off the ground, figure out how we're going to do it, the why, all that sort of stuff. And then now we're also going to continue to take those steps of reaching the business goals that we set out for us. And then most importantly, after we start to reach some of our first goals, we're going to have to like reconvene and figure out what our next and larger goals are. And so below, I just did some screenshots of the website and the Facebook page. I'm just going to roll right past these because I'm going to show them to you guys actually right now. So here we go. This is the website. Like I said, I use Squarespace to create it. And so all of these are posts that I've written so far for Work With Girlfriend. We have, essentials that keep me going, 3 women who work in sports to follow on social media, apps on my phone that I can't live without. All of these are just fun little posts designed to be easily consumable for our fans to get key tips and advice. And so as you can see, I have about 9 to 10 posts up right now. And so I felt like that was a nice base level. And so also here on the website, I have our Facebook and Twitter page linked. We have a little sidebar here, a little intro about me, and this is where you can find more information about me. Hello, now you see my face, that's me. We have an advice section, which is where we're going to aggregate all of our advice posts and also encourage people to submit topics for us to write about in the future. And also, like I mentioned, here's the Women Crush Wednesday section, and so this is where we're going to highlight, women that we're really, really proud of and we think are really doing it right. And then also I created a little contact form so that people could get in touch with me if they have any comments, questions, or ideas. And so that's the website. I'm really proud of it. It is very hard actually to create a website that you're proud of. I'll just click into this to show you what a normal page would look like, but this is the article essentials that keep me going and sane. And just here's a couple of things that I wrote about of things that I love. And so yeah, I hope you guys will take some time to check it out. Moving to the Facebook page, I set this up. And so I've been trying to find some fun and different ways to share the content. So as you can see, this is a GIF right here. Just posted some new stuff onto the website, really excited for people to see it. And as you can see, I've just been trying to share articles that I've written. And then this is another example of finding cool content that I think will resonate with our community. So this is just a nice little art, like motivational post. Yeah, and so just continuing to post all of these different things. This is an example of the post that I mentioned where this is a shape.com article, but I'm going to share it because I really, really think that this is going to resonate with our audience. So this is the Facebook page, and now moving on, this is the Twitter page. A lot of this content is the same because I'm sharing it across both handles, but I definitely think there's different ways to optimize it. Like for example, I've been trying to add fun little GIFs to all the posts on Twitter, and so you can see here that this is actually my personal Twitter account, and I feel like when it aligns that we can go ahead and share posts from key influencers. And so I try to make it fun, try to make people want to follow along with the content. So yeah, so that's the Twitter page. And then I just wanted to go a little bit into the analytics. This is Squarespace analytics. And so as you can see, we've been getting some nice traffic recently, especially this week. This is week to date. So as you can see, this is really fun analytics, and I think I'm going to start keeping track of this more holistically in a Google Doc and a Excel sheet so that we can keep track of, like, for example, I can see that 12 of these visitors, 60% came from Facebook, so like let's bump up Facebook volume, just all that sort of stuff that I can use to help me figure out what content is resonating well. That's this page, so I can see that like a lot of people are spending time on the home page, but overwhelmingly the biggest post is 3 things I wish I knew in college about working in sports. And so I can continue to reshare this content just in case nobody saw it, and I think that this data is going to be super, super helpful for me. So going back to this, this is this page, these screenshots that I just shared. And again, these were just posts that I posted on Work With Girlfriend. But I just wanted to focus on this. I still feel like we're starting. We have the plan. We're starting to really execute on it, and I'm really proud of the work that I've done so far. You can see that this post from July 1st, reached over 250 people. I think the last time I looked, it reached over 300 people, and so that's really, really awesome. I'm really proud of that. And you can see on here that this is our Twitter analytics, and I think, the 4.5% engagement rate is really awesome, 7 clicks. We're just starting, so I know these numbers aren't anything crazy, but it's definitely something that I'm proud of, and I'm excited to continue working. And so basically that kind of brings me to the end. I'm just going to scroll back up and hone in on moving forward. I'm really excited to continue to see where Work with Girlfriend is going to go in the future, and I think continuing to publish content really regularly is going to help us get there. And then, by continuing to just get these first couple months under our belt, we're going to figure out what works, what doesn't, and we're going to change our strategy from there. So I'm really looking forward to continuing this process and seeing where Work with Girlfriend can go. And so if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, or anything, please feel free to reach out. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else's websites, social media, and ideas. Okay, guys, it's been fun this semester. See you guys around.